As it says on the t-shirt, it friggin' depends. What does it depend on? So let me give you some things to consider when it comes to profitability. So time of year is a massive factor in your profitability. So my profits at Christmas are much lower than generally, because there's so many other people competing at Christmas and they all launch PPC campaigns and shit like that. However, I sell a lot of volume at Christmas, and so my actual take-home money in the bank is much, much higher. So I've got low margin, high volume sales at Christmas. Okay, so that's one thing to consider. Time of year is big. So that also then says, do you focus on, so I know some people in Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, Kate Ingham, for instance, is on the call tonight. Her business on Amazon, which does very, very well, is low profit, low margins, but high volume. So she relies on making a lot of sales at a low profit to make her money, and she does that very, very well with one particular product I'm thinking of. The stage that the business is at in its launch sequence, I should actually be more specific, the stage the product is at in its launch sequence is very, very important. The profitability of the product is lower at the beginning because a product tends to go through a product cycle. Okay, so at the beginning, the profitability is lower because you're launching it, you're paying for advertising, you're paying for Facebook, you might be giving away the product at a discount, you might have the price lower to get sales velocity going and things like that, okay? So that's also important. And I think as well, something that's not really talked about very, very much is the stage of the product cycle, the place that the product is actually in. So an example of that, let me just bring this up and see if I can kind of, so an example of that, when your product is brand spankly new to market and not many people know about the product itself, then you are investing in the product to get mind share and for people to understand what the hell it is you're selling, okay? Particularly with new products, this is, okay? So when we started selling probiotics for dogs, bloody ages ago now, but none of the marketplace knew about that. And so to begin with, we were investing in educating the market about our product. That costs money. Profitability suffers as a result of that, okay? However, what happens at the next stage is you get customer awareness with low competition. And that's an extremely profitable phase of a product cycle because you've got the market to yourself. So for 6 months, we were killing it with the doggy probiotics before other people caught onto it and entered that market. So, but for 6 months, it was like you were shooting fish in a barrel. It was just ludicrously, insanely profitable for the business. But then what happens is you get market awareness next. So that's when you get competitors coming in and they start selling the product, and so your margins suffer as a result of that. You've got to run PPC ads, you've got to do other things. That's all. You've got to discount your product to compete. That all makes a difference. That all makes a difference. And then the next phase of your product is when the market has moved on. And that's typically when the sellers who were selling your product, there's not enough, it's like a consolidation happens in the marketplace and there's not enough money to go around, and so some sellers exit the market and move on. And that can also be very, very profitable as well because the market's consolidated, you're left with a few big players. And because of that, you kind of have the market to yourself. And so that's kind of cool. And that can go on for years. It can just become like a cash cow that's just ticking over and making money for you. So kind of depends. Now, doesn't really answer your question. So in my own business, my actual profitability of the business kind of oscillates between 25 and 35%, but it tends to be steady at around 31, 32%, something like that. But again, it's extremely product specific, and it is time of year specific and product cycle specific as well. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some things to think about. That's all breakdown for you. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.